Commissioner Brooks,
Here.
Commissioner Fields,
Here.
Commissioner Gray,
Here.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Here.
We have a quorum and ready for the transaction of business.
Imagine.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 4 on the agenda is approval of minutes of a special meeting, September 12th, 2025.
So moved.
We have a motion,
Second.
we have a second, motion by Commissioner Brooks, second by the mayor. Any discussion, additions, corrections to the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, consent agenda. Would anyone like to raise any of those items up for discussion or comments?
I don't have discussion, I have a couple of questions.
Sure thing.
Chief, we're gonna get rifles, who gets the rifles? We're gonna buy 20, or we're getting 20,
It's a grant that we got.
I know that, but we're ordering 20, does each officer, patrol officer get one, is that the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then the next item was police vehicles, we've surplused a police vehicle. A week or so ago, I was out on Legion and it looked like some of them were gone. How many have we sold?
Yeah, they're all gone but one.
All gone but one.
One of them did not pay. So, we will, actually, one of these items, surplus vehicles, one of the chargers that's in around the side of the building.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna add that one to the one that they didn't pick up, so we're gonna surplus both of those.
Well, any reason they didn't, just, oh, no ticking, no one.
They think that they.
Okay, they don't pay, then they don't get the vehicle. Okay, fine,
Yeah,
that's fine.
they picked up 6 and we had one let go. We had total 7.
All right, thanks. Okay, that's all I had.
I think we're looking at surplus more and more, Chief. Any other questions?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Galbraith, a motion by Commissioner Galbraith, second by Commissioner Fields. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Item number 6, regular agenda, August financials.
Thanks. So starting on page 116, have the cash balances for the general fund. You can see total operating funds are at $9,126,000 at the end of August. Just to point out some highlights and progressions from July. We did transfer roughly about $1 million from the operating account into the savings. And then also too, we had a CD mature for right around $783,000. With the way the interest rates are right now, trying to renew CDs for a lengthy period of time basically equals the same thing as our interest rate in our savings account. So we've kind of opted to roll those all into the savings right now, and see how things kind of shake out with the Fed's meetings here over the next couple months. So that's how we get up to the $9,126,000. You see CDs obviously are down from the rolling of the one CD or maturity of the one CD down to 2.6 million. And then our restricted funds are at 209,000, giving us total cash at 11,972,000 at the end of August. If we look at the same time last year, we're right around at 10,730,000. So close to about a 1.2 million increase in cash year over year. Moving on to the next page, on page 117. For the utility fund cash balance, you can see operating funds are at 765,000. Once again, we've also, when you kind of look at July balance, we've transferred probably close to 240,000 out of the operating funds into our savings account, which is the construction fund. We've also had some payments kind of come out of there as well too. So all in all, on the utility fund cash balances, have been increasing pretty good and been able to roll probably about 135 to 160,000 each month into the savings account. So you can see our total cash balances at the bottom were 5,131,896. Same time last year at 6,647,000. Most of that change is from the bond proceed, draws from bond proceeds. On page 118, have the progression of our CDs, and I've kind of put up on top the highlighted ones that we rolled into our savings accounts there. So general fund, we rolled 783,000 back into the savings, and then on the utility fund, we rolled in 266,000 back into the savings as well too. So it still gives us 3 CDs outstanding at 2.6 million for the general fund, and then 1 CD still outstanding, 267,000. Like I said, we'll continue to kind of shop around and see if we can find better rates. Right now, it's about 3.5% in savings accounts, and some of the CDs, obviously, you can see they're right around 4%, 3.75. Then moving on to page 119 and 120, the revenue and expenditures for the general fund. You can see we have $2,664,000 in revenues compared to $2,151,000 in expenses. So revenues over expenditures are at $513,365. Just a few things to point out. On page 120, you'll see we've received about 21 or 22,000 from opioid settlements so far this year. Let's see here. Back up on page 119, we're at about 1,171,000 in occupational payroll taxes, and then also our insurance fee is 787,000. So still seeing kind of a consistent number collection on those as well too. And that you can kind of see that reflected on page 121 as we look at the 5-year trailing or the 12 trailing months revenues for a 5-year period. At the end of August, we were at $9,778,000 in revenues for our 4 main groups in the general fund compared to $9,274,000, so roughly a $504,000 year-over-year increase. Next couple pages just kind of break those all down for the various categories and everything. And then just last but not least, try to get you guys a little bit different information in a different way. Next 3 to 6 pages are just some different kind of graphs to summarize up some of the information there. So on page 127, obviously it's still kind of early into the year, so this is just our expenditures showing. The blue chart is our budget, and then the gray part is our actual expenditures. So really, nothing to report jumping out at this point in time as far as from an expense side of it. On page 128, you'll see kind of a breakdown of expenditures by department. So police department right now has roughly about 33% of the expenditures, and fire department has 28% of our expenditures. And really, we'll kind of see that trend continue through the year as those are, really what the general fund is there for. And then on page 129, kind of show the breakdown of just our total expenditures, something kind of a little different. So you can see right now we've paid out about $850,000 in salaries and wages. The next big number in there as far as retirement matches at $273,527. And then also too, right now, some of our capital outlays are at $293. So kind of show those big categories as far as expenditures go and where a lot of the cash outlays are on the general fund. And then moving on to the utility fund, you see revenues right now are $2,787,000. Our expenditures are at $3,390,000. Right now, that gives us expenditures over revenues of $603,000. However, we have a lot of large purchase orders that are outstanding, so roughly about $1 million in purchase orders that are outstanding in that 3.3 million number. So once we kind of back that the purchase orders out, really the general fund is about $400,000 to the good. And that's what we've kind of seen as far as the transfers that we've been able to make into the savings accounts, especially in July and August, is probably right around that 400,000 number. And then once again, on page 131, just from a graph standpoint, kind of showing you guys the budget to actual numbers there. Just being 2 months in and not really seeing too big of a jump in any kind of expenditure. On page 132, obviously you'll see, kind of the breakdown by the departments. Power production is our largest, actually, sorry, let me back up. Water treatment plant right now is our largest department, and really that's a lot of the capital outlays and purchase orders going on with the improvements over at the water plant. And then the next big one at 558,000 is our power production. And a lot of that is made up of the KYMEA invoice payments and everything. And then on page 133, once again, kind of get into just, rolling all those expenditures up into the various categories. So you'll see salaries and wages, 568,000, our largest expenditure, and then kind of backing that up as well too, as far as on the benefits and retirement matches, and then 825,279 is what we've had so far in capital outlays. And once again, we haven't really spent a lot of that cash on those. That's just a lot of the POs that are outstanding. So that's kind of the August financials.
Any questions for Brad or myself? Second motion to approve. Motion made by the mayor to approve the August financials.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Galbraith. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Brad, very much. We've had several discussions over the last month and bringing me up to speed, so I appreciate
Sure thing.
graphs as well. So I think that's added representation to our financials. It gives us a snapshot of our financial health. So, and thanks to all the departments for that. All right, item number, second item B, for a change order in financing for Digger Derrick in the electric department. We had, just for point of reference, this has been on order for several years, and the cost for that, I think initially it was based on an approved amount or a appraised amount for the chassis. I think there was some increase in cost there, coupled with the fact that of the time that's gone by. And Aaron can elaborate further. So that was the reason and rationale for the change order that we received. So we would ask that for approval on the change order and then going forward with the purchase of the Digger Derrick. So, Aaron, did I miss anything on the reason for the change?
If the commission has any questions, that pretty much sums it up. 3.5 years of waiting, so there's bound to be a little bit of change.
Is this the truck that's due, I call it anytime?
One of actually is built.
It is built,
Okay.
and we've got a picture of it.
It's waiting our approval to ship, basically.
Okay.
This would approve the financing too.
Yes, thank you.
So moved.
Got a motion with Commissioner Brooks,
Second.
second with Commissioner Fields. All those in favor? Say aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We're going to add item C. We have Ricky Rose here. She is hosting our Farm to Fork event that's coming up. What day is it?
It's Saturday.
It's this Saturday. So there was some questions about the activation of her entertainment district to allow her patrons, and I think she has some vendors to who patron the event to walk around with the alcohol that's going to be served at that event. And I think the discussion was that we go ahead and activate the entertainment district for that purpose, with the understanding that she is going to have I guess a designated area for her patrons and vendors to participate. And you can elaborate just.
While she's coming up, I think what we've all understood is the people who are there providing the alcohol are all licensed as they need to be.
Right.
So
They're
all
licensed.
that's in place. This is the whole.
Yeah, it's all in place. The people who are providing the alcohol are licensed and it's for purchase. We're not giving anything away. And we perfectly intend to have everyone remain inside of our designated area. My question was, I know when the entertainment district was first entertained, there was question about how that was gonna be handled as far as cups or wristbands or anything like that. Do we need to do anything like that? Or we will have a registration desk at the opening of our area, and I think we can contain it. So I wanna make sure we do things right.
Yeah, from my understanding, is we have ordered the cups and those are in-house. And so we're working on an agreement for the local vendors. And when we do activate the entertainment district, that those who want to participate would, sign that agreement that they're going to participate, go, and patrons would be able to have the cups. In your event, I don't know that would be necessary,
Okay.
but
Unless they're gonna leave.
unless they want to leave the area and
Hmm.
actually have the little,
We're gonna serve food and have entertainment. I would not think that anyone would wanna leave the area. So, yeah, but we're gonna keep it contained. I also own a bar in town and I'm pretty diligent about that kind of stuff, so.
right. So, and that's why, again, we didn't have it on the agenda to actually activate the entertainment district because of the fact that your license would
Okay.
cover what you're doing.
Our license, the city has a license for the entertainment district. And, for an example, in the entertainment district, we laid out boundaries. If we're gonna activate it, we need to designate that the boundaries would be in her
Designated area.
area. Otherwise, what it applies is from 8th Street to the courthouse, including the side streets. And I don't think that's what.
I don't think that's what you,
No, we've asked for the street to be closed from 4th Street through 2nd Street. And I really don't even want people in the 400 block, wandering around with alcohol. I want them to stay inside of our entertainment area. And I don't think it'll be an issue because it's a sit-down dinner. So I don't think it'll be an issue.
and that's why initially we didn't have it on.
Yeah, so I
don't-
Commissioner, do you have a question?
In the future, will we be supplying cups every time that someone has an event in the area, or
That's,
How's that
That's
going?
the way, that's the
We
way
will.
the license
Okay.
is, that we will supply the designated
Okay.
cup. And the whole idea of the entertainment district was to promote economic development
Mhm.
with the brick and mortar facilities that are already
Mhm.
there.
that they
Now, in her case, I reviewed the application, her vendors are licensed and they're approved to do this kind of festival thing, so.
just wanted to make it clear that we are responsible for getting the cups and getting them
Anything
to
else,
the events and.
anything else you're carrying is not approved. It has to be in that.
For the vendors that want to
Back-
participate.
Quote, activate this district for each event?
It is event driven, yes.
That's how y'all set it up, so it wasn't just it's not every Friday a free flowing thing.
Not every day.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I feel,
Is that, go ahead,
I
Brian.
was just gonna say, Ricky, I know you've got a lot going on with that event planning.
Yes.
So keeping an idea on who's carrying which cup is a lot. The point is, if everybody's contained at the table, it's fine. If they're gonna get up and walk around, it has to be in the cup. That's the way this was set up.
Yeah, well, and I put my husband in charge of policing the entry. And so I don't think anyone's gonna mess with him. He's a pretty big guy. No, like I said, this is my first experience with this particular entertainment district thing. And I would rather, err on the side of caution than have someone come and say we did something wrong. That's all.
I think from what I understand, you're good to go
Okay,
without the activation of the district. So,
all right. Well, you all know how to get a hold of me if there's any questions or any changes. So,
look forward to the event. Hope it's a-
thank you.
it's a good one.
Thank you.
Can we get a motion on that activating?
We're not.
Well, she's not gonna. She's not gonna be. That's what she said. They're not gonna walk.
Just inside her,
Okay.
yeah.
It's inside.
So we don't need to activate it.
Thank you, Ricky. All right, item number 7 on the agenda, report from outside agencies. Asking Vivian, you don't want to start us off?
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, so, I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet, but I've got a lot to update you all on. Within the past 3-4 weeks at the most, we have 8 new members at the chamber. So very pleased with that. We've got several others that are in talks of coming on. So, just kind of, showing our members value, showing potential members the value, and that is paying off. So I'm loving it. Some recent events that we've done, we are still doing our coffee and commerce the first Friday of every month. Recently had one on September 5th. That was at the Hopewell Museum. And then we'll have another one on the first Friday of October, which falls on October 3rd. And I just want to remind you all that we had planned on alternating the time from month to month, but we have found that the 2 o'clock time does not work. So those will be at 9 a.m. consistently every month. The Coffee and Commerce in October will be at the Bourbon County Citizen. So we're excited to have them host us, and then we'll have a couple of other short 10-minute presentations in addition to the Citizen giving us their presenting 20-minute presentation. We have kicked off, as you all know, Leadership Bourbon County. Thank you all so much. And then, of course, all the other city officials behind me for speaking to that Leadership Bourbon County group back at the beginning of September. They had an incredible day. I got some great feedback at the end of the day. So they're excited to move on into October and see what we have in store for them. We did kick off our Youth Leadership Bourbon County. That was on September 12th. We did a little bit, I switched it up a little bit because I realized that historically we've never done a Youth Leadership Bourbon County orientation. And we do one for adult leadership. So because that's modeled after it, we did an orientation, started the day off, and basically I just gave them kind of an overview of the program, you know, why we do Youth Leadership Bourbon County, what they could expect from it, and then just some general guidelines, you know, how many they can miss, what they needed to wear to each of the different sessions. We went over the schedule, and then we actually played just like a game with a ball out in the courthouse lawn. And it was just like a icebreaker, get to know you game. So they really enjoyed that. We also did, we did a personality test, and I think a lot of them were a little surprised with, it was the BIRD personality test. If anybody, it's called the DOPE test, but it's a BIRD test, personality test. So they were having fun, you know, finding out like what BIRD their personality was similar to. And then based on that, we split them into groups. So we wanted to make sure not all of the doves were in one group. So we would have, you know, a dove, an owl, so on and so forth in each of the different groups. And we sent them out on a scavenger hunt downtown.
Put
So
all the introverts together?
we did not, that was the point
Okay,
of it. Yeah, we had some doves, some owls, some peacocks, and then some eagles all in one group. So they kind of, it forced them to get to know one another even further because, reminder, we have Paris and Bourbon County in that. So they were forced to kind of intermingle, and we had a really great time. And then, yeah, so that was awesome. Let's see, Brightview, they had their 5-year anniversary, that same day. So that was on the 12th. I was able to swing by at the end of my day. Seems like they had a really good turnout. And then let's see, Dia de los Muertos, that planning has started. We're meeting every Monday. I do have the city paperwork, the application printed, so I'll get that turned in. And then I'll get my state encroachment and all that good stuff turned in. So just be looking forward to that. And the date on that is, oh gosh, I'll have to get back with you on that because I can't remember the date. November 3rd. Yes, November 3rd. Okay, we have started planning the Christmas parade. Right now, myself, Betty Ann, and Jan from All About Kentucky are on the committee, but I am looking for some more folks to help out. I'm going to hold off on giving you all the theme and the Grand Marshal and all of that because I have a chamber board meeting on Thursday and I need to kind of put that in front of the board, and then I'll be ready to bring it back to you all at commission. But we've got a really cool theme. We've got a really exciting Grand Marshal in mind. And we secured a $2,500 donation from Send Cut Send to adorn the tree in front of the courthouse with even more lights. So like step aside Rockefeller, where Paris is coming. So it's gonna be good. And then we're also gonna like add in some different decorations on the tree this year, like really big fabricated cut ornaments, and we're planning to have youth leadership decorate those for us. So it'll be a lot of fun. Let's see, we did do a ribbon cutting at DeMille Yard by Robin Ridge Farm this past Friday. For me, I mean, I've just been in the chamber since February, but according to Betty Ann, it's one of the biggest ribbon cuttings she's seen since she's been with Chamber and Tourism. I mean, we're thinking in excess of 50 people attended. So it was an incredible turnout, lots of community and support, and just warmed my heart to see that. So really excited for the Robin family out there in Millersburg getting it done. Pumpkin Festival, I've already told Stephanie, but I just have to say it out loud. Wow. Attended that this past weekend and I was absolutely blown away. So great job to you. Hats off. We have started, of course, you all know the America 250 planning. We do have a meeting tomorrow at 4:30 over at Hopewell Museum. But just a little note, moving forward, we will start meeting out at Legion Park so that we can be better accommodated because the committee just grows and grows and grows. So we're getting a ton of community support. Betty Ann and I are kind of heading up the charge there on the committees, and we have different folks who are heading up like a parade on July 3rd, a big celebration on the 4th. Of course, you all know the fireworks situation, the cake and ice cream social. The newspaper is working on a couple of things. We've got some different stuff happening in North Middletown and Millersburg. Of course, Sharon's working on the quilt, 250 quilt and some pledge coloring books. We've got a Flag Day event planned. We've got shirts, buttons, stickers, all the merch, visitor guide, so much more. So we're gonna work tomorrow on trying to start nailing down the schedule throughout the year. That way, once we know what events we're actually going to move forward with, we can really start to hone in on that budget. So we should have that information to you very soon. I will be attending KCCE State, which is Kentucky Chamber of Commerce Executives, and that starts tomorrow morning. So I'll be in Bardstown tomorrow pretty much all day, and then through Thursday at like 11, and then I'll come back from a chamber board meeting. So should gather some really beneficial information from that. Just a couple of upcoming events and I'll be done. We do have the Hometown Health and Wellness Open House this Thursday, the 25th. That's from 5 to 8 p.m. Of course, you know, the Farm to Fork is this Saturday. And let's see, we've got Legends of Bourbon County coming up on the 11th and 12th of October. Myself and Betty Ann are on the planning committee for that. I will be attending the Bourbon County Schools College and Career Day on the 14th of October. And then just a little FYI, and we'll get the information out about this. Bluegrass Federal is doing an open house for their renovation, ribbon cutting. I think they're going to have some heavy hors d'oeuvres and things like that. And that is on October 17th. So we'll have more information to come on that. Long report today, but we've got a lot going on, which is a good problem to have. So any questions?
Thanks, Allison.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Allison.
Thank you.
What's really good is Allison has such a long report. It cuts some of mine out, so.
Take as much time as you need.
So if any of you all were out and about this weekend, you saw the town literally full of people. And started on Friday night, Hopewell Museum had their opening of the Creative Harvest exhibit that runs now through the end of the year. And then on Saturday, of course, the farmer's market was open. They were crowded early in the morning, but then I came down the street and there were families all over the place. And I know they've been at the Pumpkin Festival because you could just tell they were out of town people. They were looking around. The stores downtown reported that they had lots of people in and out. So that was a good thing. But I would say the Pumpkin Festival, thank you, Stephanie, was probably the best one that we have had in a long time. When you have 94, was that right, Stephanie, final count, vendors that were,
110.
Oh, 110, good. 110 vendors around the courthouse. You had carriage rides going on. There were a few vintage cars down. the food was great, the music was excellent, and it was like 110 degrees, and people were still down there. I know this sounds silly, but it's a fun fact. Mike says they had 2,000 pounds of trash that they collected compared to 750, is that what you said? Usually it's 750, so go figure. So it was a very successful, brought lots of people to town. So we're looking forward to it being just as good next year or better, which I know it will be. Then Sunday at Legion Park, they had the last blast of summer, and from what I've told, it was extremely successful as well. Middle Springs Farm had farm family fun. I mean, there's just things going on all the rest of the season, but Saturday was like major. As Allison said, we're meeting tomorrow for the America 250 at Hopewell Museum, and all of you all are invited to attend. But as I've said before, if you attend, be prepared to be put to work. So, yesterday, and Farm to Fork, of course, you already know about that because, we've talked about it. But want to say, we're talking about containing people. There will be a tent, so people will stay inside that area, I'm sure. But over 200 tickets have been sold already, and Ricky told me this morning that every time her phone rings, somebody is wanting to buy more tickets. So we look forward to that being a big success, and we'll continue that in the future. Yesterday, Allison and I met with WKYT TV. We haven't done a lot with them, so they came down and gave us a big plan for what they could do for us. So we'll probably be working with them some. And LM Communications or radio came down. We've not done any advertising on radio that I can remember. So they also gave us a plan. So be looking to hear about Bourbon County on the radio. Traveling with Terry, I talked to her about, from TVQ, about coming down and doing a story, and I may have already told you all this, on the mural and Jamie, but not just this year's mural, on Jamie and all 3 murals that she has done and what she's done for our downtown. I met with Harrison and Nicholas County. We're planning to work together on like a 3-county brochure to kind of promote what you can do in Bourbon, Harrison, and Nicholas if you happen to come for the weekend or the day, and how close we are together. And both counties have things. We'll do 10 different things to do in each one of the counties and kind of do a map. The regional meeting and the Bluegrass Ad THRAC meeting, there will be held in Harrison County. I'll be attending those this coming month. And of course, everybody wants to meet in Harrison County for our October meetings because, you know, we've got giant skeletons and there are fall destinations. So that should be interesting and fun. At our last Tourism Commission meeting, we took a look at the ordinance that formed the city county ordinance that formed the Tourism Commission, and we're going to be reviewing that for some possible changes because it was 1992. So we're going to look at that and then bring it to city and the county if we have any changes. And I think that's about it. If you have any questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betty.
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Mr. Wilson. How are you doing today?
I'm not sure yet.
We got something after this, right? Did we
Yes, sir.
nail that down?
Well, before we get started, what y'all been talking, these ladies been talking about, Stephanie,
I want to say that this is the sort of thing that makes my job easier. I mean, it's beyond belief. I mean, the people I deal with, I call them teenagers, but I'm talking about the project managers in Frankfurt. And we brought a couple of ladies and a guy over here on a retention mission with like pizza, sand cut sand, and Western Pacific Storage Solutions. And, you know, they were just taken back, and this had been 3 months ago. And a little woman that worked with, and this is part of what I'm gonna say here in a minute, but on a Project Pumpkin that, from Europe. And she was over here over the weekend. My point is, when you get good vibes, and it's just like the Secretary of Economic Development Cabinet. I invited him 2 Christmases ago to our soiree at Mustard Seed Hill. And I invited Bob Quick, the president of Commerce Lexington. And both of them just absolutely fell in love with Mustard Seed Hill. Well, as it plays out here, the secretary's son's gonna get married here in a couple of 3 weeks at Mustard Seed Hill. I mean, he loves Bourbon County and Mustard Seed Hill. In fact, we had a site showing at Bourbon Nicholson a month ago, and he normally a project manager he shows up. But the same way Bob Quick, he brought his entire family in a minibus over here for Christmas. But my point is that every one of you all, you don't know what, everything you do every day, and these ladies back here included, even Betty Lou, that it's just beyond belief how these young people that are, well, they don't have to be young, but I'm saying the project managers that come here frequently leave with a good vibe and a good feeling. So I just didn't mean to get carried away there. But, well, last week, we'll start out here, Community Ventures and Paris Bourbon County EDA sponsored Andy Seth, the president of Sustainable Strategies DC. This is the fellow that we worked with on 460 to get the Bill Grant Award, and worked with on the connector road between Bypass and Industrial Park. So anyway, we decided we did invite him because we had a lot of Zoom calls. I said he'd only been here once before, and that was with the Bill Grant for about 4 hours. And I took him to 460 in the district office, and he got back on plane left. So anyway, he came last Thursday, and Kevin Smith took him Thursday. I took him all day on Friday. And I think Stan could attest to this. I think the guy was just really taken back by some of the people in the room that were present at a lot of these different locations. And so he left with a good feeling. Last Friday, we had a lunch over trackside, and we invited Congressman, because we knew we were gonna need money, federal money. We invited Congressman Barr's staff, and they came. So I thought we really had a good meeting there, and he left with a lot of good thoughts, a lot of good ideas. So we're hoping he was gonna try to do a call here in about a week and kind of summarize what his thoughts were for future funding. While we're on that topic, he called me out of nowhere 3 months ago and said, there's a tribal grant, it's a rural tribal grant for pre-planning for highways. Would you be interested? I said, well, yes, sir. He said, you know, it's somewhere between $400,000 and $600,000 a pre-planning grant. And that's how we were able to get one on 460, because the transportation cabinet had done that one. But here, we're talking about Bethlehem Road, and we're part of it. So I said, yes, let's move forward. Well, there was a glitch in the software in Washington. They finally got it going here about 2 weeks ago. So we submitted it. We submitted it for $600,000. If that's awarded, then what we're going to do is parlay that into a bill grant for next year, hopefully, for from the Church of God on Bethlehem Road to 2,000 feet past Cross Street. I put a budget together, the state put a budget together, we were real close on so I submitted a $17 million budget for the planning and the design construction for Bethlehem Road. And the plan is, to make that a 3-lane with curb and gutter section. That's what I base my budget on, but anyway, so, parlay that into this Friday, we're gonna have, district engineer and design staff, Congressman Barr's office, and some other folks and hopefully Mr. Belcher and Mr. Withrow, to talk about the funding with the district office and the design. And it couldn't come at a better time because we got some issues out on the bypass with traffic around Cane Ridge, and we're gonna talk to them about that. And, but anyway, there's a lot of things going on. Then we're also working with Jeff Stidham and Brad Boaz of CMW Architects on Bridalwood project out of Houston Oaks. I mean, it's a massive project. It'll take probably years to build out, but you gotta start somewhere. And their plan is to build where that farm road is to build a connector road to the clubhouse. We won't get into all that today, but we'll hopefully have some pictures and whatnot at a later date we can show. Then it couldn't have come at a better time last Friday, because I had met on Wednesday with the people from India, and they were all the pieces, and certainly said, okay, that's the building in the back of the industrial park. They're working diligently trying to get the building completed, and the guy says, buddy, we've got a serious problem. I go, well, what is it? He goes, the tariffs to bring the manufacturing equipment from India here is staggering, and I don't know if we can do it or not. So Bar's people, I told them what we had within 2 hours. Friday, they responded back. They want to set up, connect with Washington with these people to try to see what we can do, if we can avoid the tariffs, because it's astronomical. I mean, this could be I hate to say it, but it could be a killer for the project if we don't get something worked out. I've had a couple of calls from retail consultants that are supposed to be in town today. And you know, it all parlays to back what I just said at the beginning. You know, was this lady, the consultant, was talking about all the good things in our community. She said, I've got people, restaurant retail people, coming this week. And anyway, we sent a lot of information. So we were, hoping that, they choose Paris. I have no idea. They won't tell you what type of restaurant. They won't tell you anything, but there's 2 different companies that are looking right now. Let's see here. And I've already talked about the meeting on Friday, so we're, but there again, this goes back to when we had the meet and greet at the district office. And I want to do that hopefully in November. But I'm telling you folks, all these sort of things, we went around the room with you folks. They went around the room. I mean, I'm talking about encroachment permit guy, the design guy, whoever. But all these things add up to a positive. I've been working with Western Pacific Storage Solutions. They've been sold. They've got a new owner who's supposed to be in town this week. I've been working with the CFO over there. They want to connect on the incentive plan they used last year when they closed the plant in California and moved those people to Paris. It was 35 people, and the state gave them incentives to move the equipment and that sort of thing to Paris. So we're working diligently on that. If luck would have it, we'd like to meet the new owner this week, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We've already talked about the RFI from the European company. If we're lucky, we get shortlisted for a site visit in December. So, let's see here. You're all talking about sand cut sand. I mean, it's just beyond belief that they're projected to go to 105 right now, projected by the end of 26 to go to 200. And they're trying to figure out what to do about a building expansion. So that possibly could be in the works. Easy Gardner is in bankruptcy, and they have sold the company to Lawn and Garden in Texas. I've been trying to get in touch with the the CFO of that company to see, they're supposedly gonna stay here for some period of time. I'm trying to, hopefully with the state's help, trying to convince them to stay here permanently, but, you know, so. And I've been working with the realtor that's owned the building, Mr. Withrow knows them, for the last 40 years, so hopefully between all that, we might be able to work out something. I hope they don't leave, because that's 35 jobs. We're currently installing, or I'm not, but the contractors installing street light in the new connector road from the intersection there at the industrial park down to the bypass. They hope to have that complete by November 15th. Let's see, don't want to miss anything. We've got a terrible time. I never thought this would be such an undertaking, but on this, like the US EVA grant that we got to build a road, we weren't out any money. The only money we were out, Garvis had to pay the bank for interest on the loan. But these E900 forms, you have to put together on how many jobs you're gonna create and how many dollars you're gonna invest in your building or your equipment and whatnot. And I'm not gonna get into names of companies, but it has been terrible. We finally got the last one yesterday, and it's been 3 months of this one company. And our attorney redrafted it. I mean, it's the place of the company to put all this together, but we were just in dire straits because the federal people won't let you. I mean, we've got all the money, but they won't call it a closed out project, and we get these E900 forms in. So we finally got the last one. But anyway, it's really been a lot of work. So, and on that travel grant I was talking about, that was submitted because it's in the city limits. We submitted it in the name of the city of Paris. And the EDA is going to pay Sustainable Strategies for their service to have to send application in. We were lucky on the first go around when the technical glitch, Senator McConnell and Congressman Barr both wrote letters immediately of support. But I got an email from Andy Says saying that you couldn't have any other letters other than Congressman or Senator. I thought that was kind of unusual. But anyway, keep our fingers crossed we can get that awarded and then parlay into the bill grant for next year. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Gordon?
And by the way, I want to say that too, that everybody in the room, I mean, we have been swamped on everything from A to Z. And everybody in here that I've called on, even Mr. Whitfield, everybody showed up quickly and responded quickly. And I mean, that means a lot. And we're trying to centralize our information on these RFIs where we don't have to do so much background check. And, doing it in reverse, hopefully we can get current data, all that sort of thing.
Well, I want to thank you, Gordon. You're my month or so here, we've spent a lot of time together, and the things that's going on, you're right. It does take a team and you and Tom and your efforts and working with the whole community. I mean,
it's not me. I keep telling you, it's the people in here. And I mean, it means a heck of a lot.
it does.
I mean,
It really does.
because I'm telling you, I've got some friends, like Alice was talking about with Chamber of Commerce in other communities, and you just don't know really what y'all do. I mean, and how well you respond. I mean, just go to some of my buddies and, they're down and out complaining on RFIs and nobody, will help or whatever. So anyway, and that includes garbage too. Well, thank you all.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thanks, Gordon.
Appreciate it. We'll go on to city staff. Mrs. Vanessa, do you have anything? Any updates? Nothing? Okay. And we're working with the county on an RFP for the EDA, or the EPA grant, so that's in process. Any comments from city staff? Chiefs, anything? A lot of stuff going on. I know we've got the ongoing, we had progress meeting on the water plant project. Chad, you want to add anything to that?
We're still kind of wait mode. Still
a lot of electrical components are waiting on those. Sparky's crew will go over and pull some wire later on. I'm just going to try to get ahead of that. But that was, we're waiting.
Thank you. I know we continue to work with the developers and a lot of building, a lot of activity going on, working with them on infrastructure needs, with our, housing and construction that, again, it's really an unbelievable amount of activities going on, so. Thanks to all the city staff. Mayor, did you have anything?
No, appreciate Stephanie. Out around. Nice job. Well attended.
Mr. Brooks? Anything? Mr. Fields?
I contacted Chief Thomas this past week. We've been having some problems on the west side with speeders going through the streets. There are a lot of kids playing out. Also some physically handicapped people. Somebody's gonna get run over. They go through stop signs, top rate speed, just a problem, but he's aware of it and he said he would take care of it.
You brought that up. I'll bring up the phone call I've got about Vine and Kingsley Court. Stop sign there. Maybe run some enforcement, write some tickets for people running these signs and make our streets a little safer. That's all I have.
Timmy, we are meeting on Friday with District 7, right? So we're gonna bring up the stoplight thing again there, okay?
Good luck. Thank you. It's just so dangerous. I'm bypassing these lights.
What about the bypass?
Yeah, that's what, that's the one.
Floating to death over that. It's just a game of Russian roulette, turning
Oh, yeah.
Georgetown Road out there, no turn lanes. Just. All right, thank you. That's all.
Anything else, Commissioner? Commissioner?
I was gonna just follow up on a couple of things. Last meeting or so, if we talked about the surplus of the scale over at the, what's progress on that?
I don't have, as,
I've reached out yesterday to, Memphis County Judge and whatnot, and coming back.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's still in the works, still in the works on that. And then one other thing, Matt, that we had talked about, there was, we had gotten a letter of, not complaint, but I guess it was indirectly a complaint, and on the, and it dealt with, past dues in the utility department and things that I think you and Marissa are gonna work on
in
that.
process of,
Okay.
Looking at that, the policy, in terms of looking at
Yeah.
the postmark date.
Yeah, postmark date versus, yeah.
Date
The
received.
15th,
But-
yeah.
So I think that's, with all the issues going on, I think that might be something that we could look at, and I want to get those edits and then have that before you all for approval.
Because we can't control once it goes in the post office.
Exactly. And from my understanding, it goes to Lexington and sorted, and then it comes back here, so, you know.
Makes it stop sometime. It goes all the way to Louisville.
Sometimes.
And then it comes back to Lexington.
It's sorted.
Then it comes back, yeah.
here. So we understand customers and the
I know.
time that's going on, so I think that might be something that will.
And then, one of the other issues that it'll probably rear its ugly head, and Matt, you've only been here about 6 weeks, a month, 6 weeks, but, the issue up on, I don't want to name any names, but there's a place up toward the old, compactor that, we need to get, planning, or get, code enforcement or something. We need to get something done on that, up on the corner up there.
I've been apprised of of what's going on, and we work with the property owner. I think that's
Making-
all.
We're making a mountain out of a molehill, so anyway, we need to. I got another saying, but I'll leave that.
I understand.
That's all, that's all
Let
I
me
have.
know that, yep, absolutely. We've had several conversations, and that's in process.
We need to just move forward.
Anything else? Mike, did you have anything? I did not. Clerk, Brian? I'd just like to say again, appreciate, I think we had an email from the assistant principal, I think it was, chief, homecoming, is it homecoming parade this Friday, I think, so appreciate.
Bourbon County, yeah.
For Bourbon County, sorry, yeah, but appreciate, taking control of that and taking care of that, for the schools. I will, be attending a KLC conference starting tomorrow, so, I think that's a good opportunity to work with the partner cities and get some information, hopefully bring back.
One day they can make that thing. Just
Um,
one day, I mean.
It's rest of the week. No, actually, I'm gonna be back Friday. But no, today, tomorrow and Thursday.
Okay.
Predominantly, so that's.
Chicken
both
potato,
of the
Tony,
two.
okay.
Yeah, hey, got my phone. Right here. So, but again, I just wanna let you all know that and appreciate, staff again for everything that they do, so. That's all I have.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion made by the mayor,
I'll say,
second by Commissioner Galbraith. All those in favor?
all right.
Any opposed? Thank you all.